welcome back to the studio. It's 2026. We are ready for this year. Can I get a collective yes? I certainly hope so. I am very, very excited about this year. I feel a fresh sense of renewed energy at the beginning of every year. This year, I don't really feel renewed energy. I feel like, yes, we're tried and true. We've been through some things. We're practiced. We know how to keep showing up. At least that's kind of how I'm feeling this year. But what I am feeling is a lot of certainty and a lot of resolve, which I like feeling. I really like feeling that at the beginning of the year. I hope you're feeling some positive shifts, some energy, some shedding. The year of the snake really did a number on us, from fires to... Honestly, I don't want to revisit it. I was going to list some more things, but it genuinely was a year that if you sustained your creativity through it, if you sustained your positivity and your love for humanity, but if you left the year feeling soft, I feel like that's a win, and you should congratulate yourself. If you're also feeling a blend of nourished or nurtured or resolved or certain, or whatever your essence of the year at the beginning of the year might be, just take a moment to settle in and to realize that that is a gift. That is strength. That is success. That is stability. Stability. That is stability coming through in whatever ways you need it to. One of the things that I'm settling into that's really taken hold for the past year, maybe even year and a half, is what gifts have we been given? And I asked myself this in particular during hard times, and like times when, let's say, I have some longing or some sadness, or I miss my kids, or like there's just something where I'm like, my heart's aching a little bit. I ask myself what gifts I'm being given through this, and it's been very, very helpful. And the gifts of 2025 are really quite numerous. I feel like I watched a lot of creatives rise to new challenges and rise to the occasion and get incredibly creative and incredibly inventive. And that is exciting to me. So let's settle into that for 2026. Let's continue that. Let's continue believing in ourselves and in our ability to create, even when things are not quite as conducive to creativity as you might expect. Art school is lovely. It's a little incubator of, you have all your supplies, you're being given tasks, you have time, you have things that are being handed to you. You get to just go create. That's so easy. Do you know what's hard? What's hard is maintaining creativity while also balancing adult life, balancing the extra pressures and the twists and turns that every single day will bring to you, and we're doing it. So let's settle into that. Before we get into our topic of the day, which is making sure that you have habits around you that support you in this beautiful ongoing journey of being a creative entrepreneur, I want to introduce myself, introduce this podcast. I know it's been a minute, and if I'm on your podcast explore page, whatever that might look like for your particular platform, I am honored to be there. My name is Emily. I'm a full-time artist. I've been a full-time artist for a lot of years, since 2007, when I had my first official art show and sold my first body of work. I grew a career very slowly after that, having kids, moving, inventing things, letting things morph and evolve around me. And today I run a studio that is so multifaceted. I would never have been able to dream this up had I been given the opportunity in art school or as a young adult or even early in my career. It's just incredible what you can create when you let yourself invent and try things and let yourself be brave and vulnerable. And I want to talk about that today because one thing that I think we need to settle into as creatives is the idea that we not only have a creative practice. Of course, you go into your studio, whatever that looks like. It could be a table, it could be a room, it could be a whole building, whatever. You go into your studio space, you go into your place and you practice, right? Just like someone would on an instrument or on a basketball court. You're essentially running drills. It's so fun being a visual artist because you can see the results of that practice really acutely. You can just see it right in front of you, and it's really cool. And I think that's very special to get to see the markers of our practice in that way. You can't really do that unless you're like recording everything that you do in other mediums. So it's very special to get to see our practice. But what we all have in common across disciplines, across creative outlets, is habits around our creativity. So you have your creative practice in your studio, but then there are habits that surround how you show up, how you think about your work. A lot of mindset work happens in this habit space, and it becomes the fabric of who you are and what you think you can create, what you think you can accomplish. This is so much fun, in my opinion. It's so much fun when you begin to realize that this is happening and you're like, oh, wait, if these are habits, then I can practice new ones. I can implement new ones. I can, what's that old tried and true thing? If you do something for 21 days, it becomes a habit. I don't know if that's true, but we can at least, let's pretend. Let's pretend that it's true. 21 days of trying something new, letting yourself believe something a little bit more expansive, letting yourself shift a little bit more into where you want to be in 2026. This is what I want to see more for the creative community. This week, I'm offering a goal setting workshop. If you're listening to this on the 7th, you can join me. If you're listening to this before the 9th, I have another session on the 9th. So the 7th and the 9th, we'll be sitting down and talking about goals and aspirations for the year, and really coming back to one of the habits that I want to talk about, which is centering your pleasure. We've talked about that on this podcast a lot. I think I'll be talking about it for years because pleasure gets a bit of a bad rap. It either is seen as childish or frivolous or evil. And I'm not sure why. I'm genuinely not sure why. I think it's a bit of capitalism. I think it's a bit of maybe some control structures that are around us. I don't know. I'm not concerned about the why. I just know that there's resistance that I've had in my earlier years to pleasure. And that's so sad. That is just so sad. So one of the things that we're going to talk about in this workshop is coming back to the root of your creative inspiration and your creative longevity, because if you can enjoy something, you can do it for far longer than if you're not enjoying it. That makes sense, right? So we're going to come back to that and really center on that as the basis for 2026. And I think you're going to see some big shifts. I think you're going to see that when you enjoy your creative work and when you let yourself really, really enjoy your creative work, you are going to find more success in your creative practice, in your marketing, in how you sell your work, in who is attracted to your work, in why they want to buy your work, in pricing your work. Everything becomes much, much easier. So let's do that. Join the workshop. At least if you can't join the workshop, that's okay. At least get the workbook. I'll put a link to both of them down below so you can RSVP for the Zoom if you want to join me live. But even if that's too much for your schedule this week, I understand. The workbook is, I'm going to say, prerequisite. Genuinely, I think it's one of the most important things that you can do as a creative entrepreneur at the beginning of the year. Go download it. It's free. It's linked. You can just click. It's yours. But sit with the questions in this book and really let yourself find some lightness before you begin. Let yourself find some ease. When you approach goal setting with a lot of ego and a deficit, like you need to do better. You didn't do well enough last year. You didn't hit your marks. There's a lot of negativity in that kind of thinking, which I understand because we're always striving for better. We're always striving for more. If you have a strong Capricorn energy in your chart, you might really resonate with this. I'm a Leo, so I resonate with this too. I can always do better. I'm very stubborn. But what I've learned from experience is the success comes when you can kind of lighten that energy and find the positive, find the joy, find the forgiveness, the ease, the grace. Let yourself just relax a little before you begin this goal setting process. So go download the workbook. Please do join me live if you can. Again, the 7th and the 9th, we have 2 different sessions. They're the same content. They'll be different though, because you'll be there or you won't be, and that will change it. And same for everyone else in the room who who is or isn't there. So they're not recorded. They're just me with you chatting. Delightful. Okay. Let's get in today to some habits that I would love to watch sweep over the creative community. I'm going to give you 3 today and 3 in the next episode. I could probably do 100 of these, but I'm just going to say these are the ones that are really standing out to me as I look around and I see creatives who I can see their passion and I can see them really trying, but something isn't landing. These are just general themes that I'm seeing, and I'm not thinking of anyone in particular in case you're like, oh no, Emily follows me and is it me? It's not you. I'm just really taking a wide sweep with my eyes and saying, oh, I think this is a collective ache or a collective misunderstanding of what it means to run a business as an artist, because it's different than other businesses. It's different than any other industry. And we have to do things our way and in a way that is very aligned and, again, very pleasureful. Okay, download the workbook, take a moment, do that. Come back with a pad of paper, or at least like a little, you can open up your notes app. I just want you to write these down. Okay, let's do this. Okay, I'm just going to begin with maybe the most annoying one for some of you. For some of you, not everyone though. For others, like me, you're going to be like, yes, this is perfect. I can hyperfixate. Yes, I love this. Other people I know, because I've gotten to work with enough artists to know that some people really buck up against this, and I will talk you through that and I will help you work around it, okay? But my first habit that I would like to encourage you, no matter where you are in your creative career, year 1 or year 50, anywhere in that span, is to become very well known for something. You do not need to go viral to do this. You do not need to only create one kind of thing over and over again to do this. I'm a bit of an extreme. If you know about my work, I create landscape paintings, and I am the first to admit they all kind of look the same. I love them. They're all different to me. I can see so much nuance and so much difference in all of them. But I also do know how it looks from the outside. So there's like 2 sides to that coin, and I'm okay with both of those sides. But you know what that has done for me? Do you know what it has given me? Do you know what success I found because of that? So much. So much. Unquantifiable, because we don't know if I hadn't done that, what would have happened? We don't even know. But I do know that becoming well known for something led, especially in my early years, to substantial success. And I am still reaping that reward today. I am still extremely grateful that I was comfortable enough looking like a fool in front of my friends and family, creating a similar style thing that made me very happy to create. I'm still very happy creating landscapes. They were selling very well, and I just kept doing them over and over again. And like I said, they all are different. I'm not painting the exact same thing over and over again. But after you paint 1,000 of something, there are bound to be similarities. And my hands do a certain thing, and my eyes do a certain thing, and my palette does a certain thing. So it is what it is. However, okay, you get what I mean. Now, for those of you that are like, Emily, I cannot do that. Also, what is my style? What am I best at? What should I be doing? If you have these questions where you're like, oh my gosh, if you feel a flood of overwhelm by hearing that, like painting 1,000 of one thing, oh, no. Okay, let me talk you through that, because I didn't know this was going to be happening for me either, okay? I did not begin my creative career with this as a goal. I thought I would create 30 landscape paintings, and then I'd move on, because I paint a lot of things. Just in case you're like, wait, do you only know how to paint landscapes? No. And I've painted a lot of things since beginning landscapes as well. So here's what I recommend doing if you are the kind of person that likes a lot of variety. Beautiful Lean into that. Let that be what you become known for. Let that become part of, again, you can be known for anything. So let that become part of your lore, of your studio's essence, of your desire to play and to shift and to express yourself in any subject matter. What I think will begin to happen for you, what I see a lot of artists that do have a lot of different subject matters, is as you begin to repeat your practice, you begin to look more and more like yourself. And that's awesome. So as you begin to create whatever you want to, and you have a diversity of subject matter or medium or whatever, everything will begin to resemble you even more. My favorite example of this is going through a Picasso museum, or any museum that's dedicated to one artist, but the most common one that I've been to is like a Picasso museum where there's just rooms full of Picasso artwork of all different mediums, all different forms, all different subject matters, and it all looks like him. That's very, very cool. It's very cool. Also, to paint and create so much to fill multiple museums. A dream, a dream. Now, the other side to this is when I said that I was willing to look like a fool in front of my friends and family, that is one of the hardest parts about being a newer artist. And if you're in that, if you feel that kind of energy around you where it feels like you're posting and only people that are close to you are seeing your creative work, and that can feel a little bit uncomfortable to you, yes, it's true. That is what happens at the beginning of your creative career. Just genuinely get used to it. And eventually, I have another habit for you in just a moment. Eventually, that will shift. And eventually, you will realize that you're reaching more people than just your friends and family. This is kind of tipping me into habit number 2, which is... this one is going to sound weird, okay? It's just going to sound weird. Again, I am a Leo. This comes very naturally to me. I want you to listen to these words and just assume my mentality if you need to. Just take this and be like, Emily says I have to do this. If this doesn't come naturally to you, if you're not the kind of person that thinks in this way, pretend. You have to pretend. You have to pretend, okay? Okay. Tip number 2 is to become as comfortable as you can being seen as the most beautiful person in the room. I told you this is going to sound weird. I don't mean you have to be actually the most beautiful person in the room. We're not even doing that. This is not about physical aesthetics. This is not, no. But your essence, your aura will often be the most beautiful thing in the room, at least to you. Please let it be to you. That's life goals. When you walk into a room, even the people that you admire or other artists, please let your light shine. I know it's such a cliche to say, and it sounds like Sunday school. I'm not trying to make it sound like Sunday school, okay? Let your energy, let your essence take up the space that it's destined to take. It's absolutely meant to be there. Your work is meant to be seen. Your creativity is meant to shine. That's what it does. That's what creativity does. It's shining inside of you, which is why you keep going back to the studio. You keep being attracted to your creative practice because it's attracting you, because it's shining. Now, once it tips outside of you, it gets to shine to other people. And by proxy, you, because you hold the creativity inside of you, you shine to other people. So when you walk into a room, get used to being the most beautiful thing in that room. I hope you're in a room with many, many beautiful people, many, many beautiful ideas, many beautiful creative outlets. The more you can be in rooms that are filled with beauty, oh, that's the goal. Your friends should be full of beauty. You should admire your friends. You should be like, I cannot believe that my friends are so creative and so beautiful. And whatever their thing may be, they might be a doctor, they might be a baker, they might be a florist. Like, we have such varied ways of expressing creativity, but people that are close to you should also inspire you. They should also be the most beautiful person in the room. Again, I'm not here to like put someone on a pedestal or rank people. That's not what we're doing here. But It helps me to think when I walk into a room and I feel a little bit like out of my depth or a little bit shy because I'm an anxious and shy girly at my core. It helps me to think, oh, I hold creativity and life inside of me. I hold the essence of who I am, and who I am is beautiful. So I can walk into this room and I am good. I I like me. I like my creativity. I like what I've created. I like what I like genuinely. I like it. In a quiet room with no one else in it, I'm happy. So I don't know how to quite like put words around what I'm trying to tell you how to feel, but that feeling of letting yourself take up the space that your creativity wants you to take is so powerful. And I want you to feel that for 2026. Part of the way that you can get there is by being in communities that normalize this mentality. Your friends, your peers, people around you, people that you bring into your inner circle, especially your peers, especially people that you let mentor you or kind of like walk alongside you in your creativity, other artists, other creatives that you walk alongside, people that are in that sphere with you, they should be normalizing the success of creatives. They should be normalizing the success that you see in your studio. And success is in little tiny air quotes, by the way. Success is big and small. I'm not talking about selling $10,000 in artwork. I'm talking about loving what you're creating, feeling happy, feeling successful in your creative practice, feeling successful in what you're putting into the world and how it's being received, etc., etc. As you can gather people to you that normalize you being the most beautiful person in the room, them being the most beautiful person in the room, your creative work being beautiful, their creative work being beautiful, you begin to create this sphere of incredibly powerful energy. And again, you can do this alone. You can absolutely, you don't need a friend group that does this for you and with you. Although this is the magic of making artwork, the course that I teach. And this is the magic of something like the goal setting workshop, even though it's just 1 hour, you can make connections in there. But really finding a community that exudes this energy is absolutely life-changing for your creative business. I stand by that. That has been like a defining characteristic in my success is having people close to me, people all around me that are like, yeah, of course. You're so beautiful. That's so, look at what you're doing. Look at how you're trying. That one didn't work, but that's okay. Look at the core of you is beauty. The core of you is strength. And oh, I have full body chills. Okay. Okay. I could talk about that for a very long time because that is one of the sweetest and most life-changing habits you will ever settle into. If this means you need to leave a friend or a friend group, do it because you love yourself and you love your creativity. And I have done that many, many times. And it's okay. And guess what? Somehow you're less lonely after you shed things that make you feel not quite as bright as you need to be and not quite as beautiful as you know you are. Okay. Tip number 3, not tip, habit number 3. It's going to work. These 3 are going to kind of bleed together a bit because habits tend to be like the infrastructure of how you just exist. And they're not quite as defined as like post 5 times on Instagram. Like, no, that's fine. We can do that later. But habits are like the very fabric of who you are in your depths and things that you habitually come back to without even thinking about it. They're just wrote who you are. Number 3 is because you know that you have such deep beauty inside of you, get used to letting it come out of you. And this is practical. We're going to tip a bit more practical on this one because we already have talked a lot about the beauty within, and I love that, and we can stay there forever. But quite practically, when that comes out of you, what does it look like? What does it look like? So one of the things that I think makes creatives very special is we have the ability to see beauty and make beauty everywhere, anywhere. But one thing that, as again, I look at the broader creative community and I see things that I'm like, oh, we could improve in this. It's a little bit of that editorial edge that sets some creatives apart and keeps other creatives looking a little bit sloppy, honestly. And you can be sloppy. There's a whole generation of Gen Z artists that they're so funny, and maybe even Gen Alpha, like cusp artists they're in their teens. They're in their teens, maybe young 20s. Their whole vibe is a bit chaotic and a bit brat and a bit like they're not refining things. I'm not saying you have to overly refine things, but what I am saying is put things through a filter that is top shelf filter, top shelf energy. How do I phrase this? On Instagram, I said, when you enter the phase of letting beauty come out of you, you are Miranda Priestley. You are the person that says, no, 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 not good enough, not good enough. That's what I want. That's beautiful. That's good. In Making Art Work, we talk a lot about 1% better every day. And it's just these tiny little micro shifts where you begin refining your perspective and your energy and what you're creating. And it becomes very practical. Like, we can get really, really granular with it. Like, how do you take your photos? How are you sending your emails? How are you setting up your Instagram campaigns? How are you setting up your ads, your SEO? That can become very, very practical. But on a much broader scale, can you just make what you're trying to share a bit more beautiful, please? And again, I'm not thinking of anyone in particular when I say this. I'm just noticing general large trends. And maybe it's also because I love beauty and I love seeing someone's vision coming through clearly. And again, it does not have to be refined and pristine. We're not all going to be Prada or Vogue magazine. I'm not that. You're probably not that either. Although if you are, send me your account because I really want to see it. What I want is to see your vision. I want to see the clarity of how good you are inside coming through on the outside. We're all going to look different. We're all going to photograph things differently. We're all going to publish things differently. We're all going to share things differently. We're going to use different mediums, different fonts, different colors, different messaging, different videography, different everything. And that's so special and so cool. So while you're practicing your creative work in the studio, I also want you to practice how you share that work. And don't begin to think about marketing when I say that. I'm talking about something much broader than marketing. I'm talking about the way that you let it live outside of your brain. When it leaves your mind, is it as beautiful as you imagined? Or do you have some skills that need to be refined? Or some practices that need a little bit of practice? Or some ways of doing things that are just like, oh, it's not quite what I was imagining. It's not quite as beautiful as I thought it would be. Great. Start there. This is fun, by the way. When I say these things, pleasure is the baseline that we're working with here. So when you hear me say you can do better, please, 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 please hear me say, as the person who can be in that coach seat for just a moment, hear me saying what I say to myself is like, oh my gosh, we have space to play. If I do a photo shoot and it's mid, it's a solid like B+, that's okay. I might post some photos from it. It's okay. It's okay. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, but next time it's going to be so beautiful. And I know what to change. I know what to do. I know how to alter or how to shift things. I've got this. I can edit my photos a bit better. I can take photos in better lighting. This is just a photo example, but you get my drift. You can see something and see how beautiful it could be. And even if that's where you are today, awesome. You did it. Again, you have beauty inside of you. You are beauty in essence. But next time, oh, it's going to be so good. And you can kind of envision those next steps, the next level up looks like this. That's so much fun to me. It's so fun to play in this way, to let your mind explore in this way. So those are my 3 habits that I'd like you to settle into for today. I know they are genuinely huge and life-changing and will change everything about your entire existence, truly, if you let them. And also they're just like, yeah, of course, I've got this. a mini little recap. Become known for the thing that makes you happiest, the thing that you enjoy creating the most. Do not be afraid of being seen. Please know that you are so beautiful. The light inside of you is stunning. When you walk into the room, everyone feels your energy. Everyone feels the beauty that you hold in your own body, in your mind, in your soul, in your essence. Everyone can feel it. So, number 3, as you begin to let that light be seen, which you're doing all the time, by the way, whether you're hiding it or keeping it chaotic or scattering it or clarifying and refining it, either way, as you begin to let that light be seen, let it be as beautiful as you envisioned it to be. And again, we're not here for overwhelm. We're here for play, for gentle progress. Progress is quiet and slow, and it takes a lot of practice. And you have time to practice. We've got that. That's what the entire year is for. We have all of 2026 to just try some things and see what flows, see what feels good, see what you hate. Take note of that. Write those things down. Stop doing them. And enjoy. Enjoy your creativity. Enjoy your beauty. Enjoy your goals. Enjoy your dreams. I highly recommend, again, get the workbook. It is such a good way to begin the year, and it's there for you. So, all right, that's all I have for today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning back in. I love this episode. I got chills several times because I think maybe I needed to hear it. So thank you to me. All right, be back next time for more habits and more things that will help you set your year up for success, because you have such beauty in store. I can feel it. All right, bye for now.